That's right. You're listening to a podcast that's for you if you play Magic the Gathering, whether you are playing it or you're playing it.
I'm one of your hosts, Maria.
I'm another one of your hosts, Megan.
And I'm playing it.
I'm playing it.
And on today's show, we just flew back from Chicago, and boy, are our arms deep dish pizzas.
Wow, that would be a real problem because...
Would it? Well, that you get hungry.
Yeah,
and you would
you'd
just
get
eat
hungry.
it.
Okay, do you think that you'd be in more danger of someone else eating your arms or of you eating your own arms?
Me eating my own arms.
You're most in danger from yourself.
Can you, you're really hungry, okay?
Yeah.
You're somewhere where you can't get access to food. Would you just nib? Would you give him a little nibble?
No.
On your pizza arms.
I guess I have a lot of follow-up questions about the pizza arm universe.
Does not grow back.
Okay, it never grows back.
No.
Does the pizza go bad? Do my pizza arms go
forever
bad?
good.
Okay, so my arms are eternal
pizza arms.
Fresh. Deep dish pizzas.
And it smells good.
Oh no. Oh no. Okay. I'm really hungry.
What torture is this?
No, I do not nibble my
Just
arms.
one little pepperoni?
No. Maria, you take one step down the road of self-cannibalism and the next thing you know, you're gone.
You're gone. That's a great point. Slippery slope.
Yep.
I didn't have any Chicago. I didn't have any pizza in Chicago.
Oh, I did.
Oh, was it great?
Oh, yes.
You had that
I
deepest
love
dish.
Deep dish pizza.
It is good. It's more like a casserole.
Exactly. It is its own thing. You can't go into the experience being like, I'm going to eat pizza.
Yeah.
Because
that's not what's happening.
That's not what's happening. You're eating a casserole that's inside of a bread bowl.
Yeah.
And why don't you like that?
Yeah. It's meat, it's cheese, it's a bread crust.
It's bread.
Yeah.
It's great.
A giant crouton on the outside.
It's so good.
We came back from MagicCon Chicago and Pro Tour Murders at Karlov Manor, everybody. We flew in yesterday, and we're here today recording the ep.
Yeah.
We're going to give you a lowdown on everything that happened at the con, which was a lot.
It was a lot. I mean, I don't know that we could possibly cover everything that happened at the con.
I just made a promise.
Actually, as far as I can tell, everything happened at the con.
Yes, that's true. It was the biggest, they're saying the biggest Magic event in the history of Magic events.
It was enormous.
It was so huge. There's so many people.
Which I think it goes with my theory, which is that, look, I was just saying, Midwesterners go hard.
That's true.
That's it.
Why?
Chicagoans, they go hard, man.
Well, yeah, that's very true. I mean, what's...
That's what it felt like.
So you're saying people on the East Coast, they don't go hard?
Uh-oh. This feels like a trap.
I'm just trying to follow the logic.
I just don't know, right? For some reason, there was something to me that made so much sense about seeing that many people in Chicago and knowing that, right? They drafted all the product.
They did. The first day, they drafted them out of product.
There were I heard that there were more than twice as many drafts literally happening.
That makes me so
Vegas.
happy.
So, it's just people were there to play. They were like, let's do this thing. And to me, it just felt right. I was like, yeah, if you put a MagicCon in Chicago, people are going to come and they're going to go hard.
Yeah, it's in the middle of the country. It's easy to get to. Midwesterners are used to driving in bad weather, so that won't stop us. It makes sense.
And also, it was beautiful weather.
It was beautiful weather.
Also, you could walk out of the convention center and see Lake Michigan. Beautiful.
Oh, it was great.
Love me a great lake.
Right there.
So nice.
We want to say thank you to everybody who said hi to us throughout the weekend, stopped for a photo, got to button a high five.
It was so great.
We love meeting everybody.
Yeah, we do.
And it was beautiful the whole way down. We're going to mostly focus on what happened at the Pro Tour this episode because there's just so much packed into what happened at the past weekend.
We've also got a collector boosty. That we're going to open later.
Cool looking collector boosty.
I know, right? We have a little Murders at Karlov Manor collector boosty.
I haven't seen one before. That's some nice packaging. That's some nice packaging on that. Speaking of packaging, a bunch of stuff got previewed for the rest of 2024 at this event. We're going to talk about that next week because there's just too many things to put in the bag of our show this week. But we will get to it. Rest assured. It was a very exciting Pro Tour. In case you missed any of the action, it's all over on twitch.tv/magic.
There was
on a watch of VOD.
A team came came with a spicy Pioneer deck, and it paid off.
You love to see it. Let's break the format. It doesn't happen very often.
No, it doesn't. And let me tell you, you're going to want to hear about this deck. Even if you're like, I don't play Pioneer, you're going to want to hear about this deck because this deck is sick.
You'll still love it.
This deck is really cool. You can go do this deck's thing.
And you can play it on Arena, too.
Yeah.
Which you better believe I did. We'll get into all of that coming up. But before we do, we want to say thank you to everybody who supports us over on patreon.com/GLHF Magic. Everybody, big news. It's my birthday tomorrow, and I would just love a present of your patronage.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
Think about Maria's birthday.
I just want you to become a
Birthdays
patron.
are nice.
It would be fun. We've got great perks for you over there. You get early access to episodes, no ads. You get our Discord. You get a ton of different perks, longer episodes, etc. You can go find it out.
It's great. Thank you so much to our new or increasing pledge patrons of $5 a month or more, Steve, Benita, and Dr. G.
Yay, Steve, Benita, and Dr. G.
Steve, you must be going. You're so great. You're going to Stephen. You know?
Is that like heaven, but only for people named Steve?
No, it's Steven. Yes, I guess, yeah. You're definitely going to Stephen. It worked in my mind, okay?
There's probably some great Steves up there you can hang out with, honestly.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you to Benita. You've made our Casa Benita by becoming a member of our Patreon.
Oh, that was a nice one. Dr. G, that must stand for Dr. Great. Because that's what you are.
You're so great, Dr. G. Thank you, everybody. You get a pun at $5 a month or more. And if you want one pun, Maria and Megan style, sign up right now at patreon.com/GLHF Magic.
Do you want to? I have another one for Benita. Do you want to hear it?
Let's go. Double pun. Wow.
Benita,
Lucky.
you should go. You must have been eating a good snack. You became a patron.
Yeah, please tell us what snacks you were eating when you became a patron. Excellent
That
stuff.
one was just so ridiculous. I couldn't keep it in.
I'm going to ask you for another help. If you can't become a patron, another piece of help, another way you can help us. That's what I'm trying to say.
Another help.
If you can't become a patron, news alert. We just started a brand new channel called Commander Arcade, and that's where we're going to put all of our Commander games that we play for you on Good Luck High Five.
Yeah.
It's very exciting, and it's very scary because we're starting from zero and we can't yet monetize the channel. And I don't know if you know this, but making stuff costs money generally.
What?
And we want to be able to do that on that channel so that we can continue to make it better for you, put the money right back into the production. But to do that, we need to have a certain number of watch hours over there. So if you could, head on over to youtube.com/@CommanderArcade and just play. You can put it on a loop. You can put it in the background. You don't even need to be actively watching it. You can not listen.
This is a $0 way to help Good Luck High Five.
Yes, totally free and unannoying. You can just do it and let it run, and it will count as viewers hours watched. So that's one way. People always ask, how can we help you? What's the most way we can help you? That would help us right now. And
Consider
also,
that.
The episode's great if you haven't seen it.
It's very fun.
We've got another one coming up soon, at the beginning of next month.
Yes.
So that's coming up. Checks watch in just a couple of days.
Yeah.
So
it'll be up
ready.
in a week and a half.
Wow, that's exciting. Somebody else we have to say thank you to is our sponsor, Card Kingdom.
Yes.
You can check them out on the internet at cardkingdom.com/GLHF. You can buy singles there. You can buy boxes. You can buy product. You can pre-order product. We want to acknowledge that there was recently a Reddit thread about Card Kingdom with some employees who are having a hard time in the warehouse. Card Kingdom has issued an official statement on that, which you can read on their website. We've also had people talking about it in our Patreon Discord. And of course, we are all for unions and workers' rights here at Good Luck High Five. And we have been in contact with our representative over at Card Kingdom. I almost just said rep, but I was like, what does that even mean? Our representative.
I think rep generally means representative.
Okay, that's good. I was like thinking, does that sound like I'm in our member of Congress?
You can also use it in that way.
So we have an open line of communication. So if there's any questions you want to ask them for that, if they didn't get answered in their statement, in the response, you can let us know. You can DM us on Discord if you're part of the patron. If you're not, you can email us at glhfmagic@gmail.com, and we will forward those answers and those questions to get answers for you from Card Kingdom, and we'll let you know what they say. So the response time to us asking about it was very good.
Yes.
So yeah, we want to make sure everything feels good to you as listeners of the show, because that's how we want to feel with our sponsors too. So just let us know. But they've supported us for almost the entire lifetime of our show and have never wavered. And so they've been kind to us, good to us, and helped us continue to do what we do here by providing, a big chunk of support to us every month. So, if you want to head over and check them out, you can, cardkingdom.com/GLHF. Time to talk about Pro Tour murders at Karlov Manor, not murders at Markov Manor,
which it could have been, because Soren Markov was there.
He sure showed up.
Big
picture tournament. There was 258 players. We did two drafts, and then Pioneer the rest of the way, and Pioneer was in the top 8. In the end, Seth Manfield took down the whole tournament.
Wow,
ever
Hall
heard
of Famer.
of him?
One-time world champion.
Yep.
I know this is his second Pro Tour title.
Win.
Yeah.
He kind of came out of nowhere a little bit.
Yeah, he was just kind of like, I think, just doing his thing
down
in the Swiss round.
Casually winning.
And it was like, also, Javier Dominguez was the only 12-4 player to not make it into the top 8. But also just like shout out to Javier, who is always a great player.
He is.
And also I felt like out there where all of a sudden it was like, Javier was almost also in the top 8.
It was a great top 8, everybody. A lot of big names, different kinds of decks in the metagame. We're going to talk to you about what draft looks like after this tournament and what Pioneer looks like, and kind of our thoughts about that as well.
Also, just want to shout out Simon Nielsen made his 4th top 8 in a row, which is a record setting.
No one's ever done it.
Simon,
just at this event, was awarded Player of the Year, and what that means is you did the best.
Yeah, he did the best last year.
He did the best in 2022, 2023.
In terms of accumulating AMPs, adjusted match points.
Yep.
And now here he is. He did it again after almost not showing up in time to draft on day 1.
Thumbs up for Simon, who also told me he started improv classes recently.
Great.
To which we say,
yes,
everybody should do it.
Everybody should do improv classes.
I said to him, this just came out of my mouth, and I think it's true. I was like, Simon, I think doing an improv class is the single best thing that you can do for your mental health.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, and I was like, oh, I didn't realize I was going to say that, but now I'm like, I legitimately think that it was.
I just love the part where you surprised yourself.
I did surprise myself by saying that. So that goes for you too, listeners.
Yeah.
Okay? So
get
thumbs
out
up
there.
to Simon.
If you ever want a
brave.
recommendation, send us a message.
Yes.
We'll rec a theater near you.
We know people.
Yeah, we do.
So that's like the broader shape of the tournament.
Yeah.
Do you want to start with draft?
Let's just talk about these drafts real quick.
Yeah, because that's where we started in the tournament.
And also because this is very interesting, right? So
Yes.
on day 1, 31 players went 3-0 in draft. Here's the breakdowns of just like the colors that they were. Boros, 3.
Okay.
Only 3. Azorius, 3.
Okay.
Celestia, 2. Golgari, 2. Izzet, 2. Rakdos, only 1.
Okay.
But then we had a lot. Most of them were 3-color decks.
Wow.
We had 3 Esper decks, 3 Naya, 3 Mardu, 2 Sultai and 2 Bant, and 2 Abzan, 1 Teamer, and 2 4-color decks.
Wow, incredible.
So that is like way more.
Absolutely.
3 and 4-color decks than 2-color decks going 3-0 on this day 1.
If you listen to our podcast, which you do because you currently are.
If you listen to our podcast, we can't tell if you do, but if you do,
then you are.
Then you are.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
We have been talking about draft because we're big fans of draft on the show. And we were talking about the data from 17 Lands, which was heavily suggestive that white was the best color in the format. It was also the deepest color. And Boros was the winningest color pair, which is red-white. And we just, we stuck by that. And of course, it is true. But what I think this Pro Tour taught us is that it's also not true.
It's also not true. And do you know what? So, like, one of the things that was sent to coverage was Simon Nielsen was kind of like, oh, here is the cover, or like here's our team's like draft strategy.
Right. Oh yeah, that's a great point. And Simon is on Team Handshake, which last year was the breakout team for a couple of years, kind of the breakout team of younger players who started playing online and then got together and started testing for these events. Like, hey, we're going to take down the bigger boys like Channel Fireball, and we're going to be the new up and comers. And they were the new hotness last year.
Yeah.
So what they have to say about draft is very important because they really crushed it last year in draft as well. So kind of seeing how they've translated that to this year, and their thoughts were very interesting.
Yeah, they were saying that they actually kind of try to avoid white because they feel like the commons are not that deep.
Wow.
And that as soon as it gets overdrafted, even a little, it tanks pretty hard.
Well, that's a great point. If they think going in that people know that white's the strongest color, which they would because they would look at the data, they might think, hey, everyone's going to be fighting over white and we don't want to be in that position.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Pretty good stuff.
I talked to Jean-Emmanuel Duprat, our current reigning world champ,
Yes.
who also top 8'd this event, spoiler alert. He told me when I was like, are you excited for draft? Because he loves draft. And he goes, yes, I do. I'm very excited because it's so slow. That's what he told me. And so I think he arrived at the same conclusion that Team Handshake did, that you are able to draft kind of, I don't know, I'm going to put this in quotes, worse quality blue and black and green cards. If you're able to stop red and white early on, well, then the hope is they run out of gas and then they can't compete.
I don't know if it was Simon that sent these over. It was someone on Handshake. That was like, okay, we try to avoid white. It's overdrafted and shallow at common, so the decks aren't that good if the color is contested.
Oh, wow.
We love blue and black because you get tons of interaction and card advantage late, like Deduce, Cold Case Cracker, Fairy Snoop, and the 3 common black removal spells. They said they even like Dramatic Accusation. They say they prefer 5 color control, picking the fixing highly so you get past the multicolor bombs in pack 2 and 3 that other players can't cast. Gravestone Strider is a high pick.
That's the 1/3, by the way, that fixes your mana.
Other nice archetypes are blue-black control and blue-green X. Both of these can also be shells for the 5-color deck. I went 3-0 with blue-black control in the first draft. This is the person who sent this. And because morphs make any 3-mana X2 replaceable, they're much lower on cards like Projector Inspector and Inside Source.
So interesting.
So I just thought that was fascinating.
It is.
Because it shows how important it is to look at and interpret data.
Yeah, and fair enough that they thought that red and white would be overdrafted. Now, we're not saying that color pair isn't good, because it obviously is.
Yes.
But it was just like, to me, I was a little bit sad because I really like this format. I think the mechanics are very cool, and I was like, oh dang it, I'm kind of feeling down on it if it's just like nonstop Blaze Fest again.
But this feels like we need to go back and try again.
Yes, I agree.
Because it is interesting.
It's interesting.
We have been told some stuff we didn't know. There were 5 6-0 drafters, so these are players who went 3-0 in both drafts at the Pro Tour, which is very impressive. Adam Adelson drafted Grixis and Azorius.
Was he the person who had 2 of the 5/5 flyers?
Oh my goodness, let me see.
2 Ezrees. Somebody did on day 1. I was like, yuck.
Jeez, that's wild. I don't see that in
It might have been somebody else.
It might have been somebody else.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. James Larson Scott, who had a 5-color deck and a Rakdos deck. So kind of like a nice...
He's doing both sides of the spectrum
like a
here.
nice, both sides of the coin. He also had a Kaya on day 1. That's
so how is
sick.
he fixing his mana in this 5-color deck? Just for people at home who are like, how do I do this?
He has 1 escape tunnel, 1 public thoroughfare, and 1 underground mortuary, which is the green-black.
We saw people drafting Escape Tunnel pretty highly, honestly, this weekend.
Absolutely. 1 copy of Topiary Panther, which has the basic land cycling.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. 1 copy of Nervous Gardener, which when you turn it face up, you go and you get a land. And 2 copies of They Went This Way.
Okay.
Which is the green card that you go and you get a card with the basic land type.
So then you can just play whatever you want once you've set yourself up for success in that way.
Exactly. Of course, one of the 6-0 drafters was LSV.
Yes.
So his first deck was 4-color, white, blue, red, green. on this first day.
What is he splashing? Is he splashing green? That's just my guess.
See. You know what? Yes, it does look like green is the most splashed color.
Okay.
And then on day 2, he drafted Boros. So again, kind of like both sides of that.
Yeah. The next undefeated drafter is Marcio Carvalho, who has been known as a great drafter for a very long time, who drafted Celestia on day 1, and on day 2 drafted a little band deck, which is green, white, blue. Yeah,
and I know that he was very high on the Celestia deck particularly. He was like, this just really came together.
Cool.
I think for him.
And finally, our last 6-0 drafter was Tyler Hatchell, who on day number 1 drafted a Sultai.
Yeah, a white, blue, black, green.
What 4-color deck?
Yeah, 4-color deck again.
Nice. And then drafted Rakdos on day number 2.
Yeah, we saw players were very high on Repulsive Mutation. This is the blue-green X instant. Put X +1/+1 counters on target creature you control, then counter up to 1 target spell unless its controller pays mana equal to the greatest power among creatures you control.
So I think what we're saying is this draft format right now looks incredible.
Yeah, like go and do anything?
Go do whatever you want. If you had written it off, I highly suggest take another look at it. We still have the problem, of course, that I was like whining about last episode about being on the play being important, which is still true. But I think all the rest of it just points to it being a really cool format.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks pretty great.
Wow. That makes me very excited, everybody. Yeah. Big time draft enjoyers here on this show. So that's a look at how draft panned out at the tournament. Then we switched over to Pioneer, which if you've never played Pioneer, it's Return to Ravnica Onward. We said, I think last episode they made it specifically for us because we started playing in 2012 and that's when it came out.
Thank you so much.
No big deal. And coming into the tournament, we gave you last week a rundown of the top 10 decks. A lot of those ended up being represented, but there was one very glaring omission because a brand new deck was spotted at the tournament.
Yes, Rakdos of Vampires.
Those vampy boys!
This deck is great.
I love it.
So this deck has Sorin Imperious Bloodlord. This is the 2 and a black, the 3-mana Sorin that has the -3, I want to say.
Yes.
Where you put a vampire into play.
You put one vampire.
You put vampire.
Put one vampire.
Put one vampire, he says.
As we like to say on this show, put one vampire.
Yeah,
put 10 bees.
-3. Wow.
That's a blast from the past.
That is an old, if you know the Good Luck High Five reference, put 10 bees. Give yourself a high five right now because holy cow.
Because you are a real one.
Wow, you're a real one, man. So -3. Vampire. You may put a vampire creature card from your hand onto the battlefield.
This deck was developed by the team Channel Fireball, which is kind of the old, I almost said the old goats in the room.
Do you know what? Like, Maria, call it what it is. The old goats.
I don't mean it like that. Or do I? The old goats in the room.
The
Channel
old
Fireball.
goats in the room. Channel Fireball.
Think about it a little bit. Like they've always been the juggernaut in the room. That's like we're taking down tournaments. We're putting players into the top 8. The past couple of years, Handshake's like, LOL. I don't think so. We're the young guns, and here we are ready to take you down. And then Channel Fireball at this tournament is like, hold on, youngsters.
Actually,
I
think Luis Scott Vargo was saying that Paul Rietzl, also a member of the Hall of Fame, was the one who kind of put this deck together. The card that you're putting, the vampire that you are putting, is Vein Ripper. 3 black for a 6/5. So just casually on turn 3, putting a 6-mana vampire into play.
Boom.
Flying. Ward, sacrifice a creature. Whenever a creature dies, target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life.
I love it.
It's big card.
You don't have a creature, you can't kill it.
You can't target it with removal, which was a big part of why they chose this, because they knew that Azorius Control, it was going to be one of the popular decks of the weekend.
Yes.
They notably have no creature.
No. What are you going to do?
They have to wrath it away.
Beautiful.
Which is like not a great feeling.
A lot of people are comparing this deck to Sneak and Show, where you can just sneak a little Emrakul onto the battlefield in a way. So we're sneaking this big 6/5 fatty onto the board, untouchable. And the death triggers are also very relevant.
Yes. we saw that, right? It's just like this card hits the battlefield and you're just in trouble. No matter how much not in trouble you were before.
Yeah.
No matter how much trouble the vampires player was in.
Right.
All of a sudden, they just not in as much trouble.
Because it sees itself die, too.
Yes.
Which is horrific if you think about it. So no matter what, you're gonna.
You know, I don't know why it's really sending me, man.
Would you see yourself die?
No.
Check yes or no. So no matter what, they're gonna lose 2 life. You're gonna gain 2 life if they manage to kill it by also sacrificing one of their own creatures. And Rakdos Sacrifice was a deck choice this weekend that a lot of people brought to the table, and this helps with that.
Oh my goodness, absolutely! Can you imagine? You're just like, I'm trying to sacrifice this Cauldron Familiar, and it's like, okay, do you want to take 2?
Take 2, please.
Take 2. I gain 2.
Your plan stinks. My plan's literally twice as good as yours.
Twice as better.
Twice as better. I love this deck because I love Sorin, and I have for a long time. And I used to play this with Sorin cheating Champion of Dusk into play.
Yeah.
Which
was also great.
Amazing when that was legal and standard. So this just brought me back to my glory days. I love vampires here on this show. I was so excited when I saw this deck. I started playing it, and I'm like, I think this deck is the real deal. And then the numbers back us up.
Yeah. So if you're like, how good is this, or how good was anything?
Yeah.
The answer is that Gabe Nassif is still good, which is very funny to me because so there were 3 decks that only had 1 or 2 players on them. The best deck in the field was actually Dimir Control with an 80% win rate.
Good job, Nassif.
Only Gabe Nassif played it, and he called the deck unplayable.
Good job, Nassif.
So don't do what Nassif did. I think by his own admission, don't do this. But congratulations to him.
He just needed to have a little better results in draft.
Exactly. Boros Burn, which Ben Stark played to a 7-3 record.
All right.
2 players played Quintorius Combo.
Oh, we talked about
cool.
Quintorius Combo.
A 65% win rate.
Nice.
Yeah, and then Rakdos Vampire. So Vampires was the deck with more than 2 pilots that did the best, 60.2% win rate.
So this is what we call kids breaking the format.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned at the top of the show, it hardly ever happens. People try it all the time, and it has a big, there's always a lot to gain from it, but also a lot to lose if you're not right about a big risk bringing a deck that is relatively untested into a format and saying, well, I hope we got it right.
Yeah. Here's kind of the breakdown by how it did against other decks. Against Is It Phoenix, it was about even. It's 48%, which is just close enough to 50 that it feels like what it's saying is that's a toss-up.
Okay.
Which is pretty good. Like, Is It Phoenix is a dominant deck in the format.
It was the most played deck of the weekend.
It is the next most successful deck at 57.5.
Okay.
Wait, nope, sorry. Yes, wait, what am I looking at? No, there's Jeskai Control, which 1 person played that comes before it, and then it's Is It Phoenix.
Oh, okay, well,
anyways.
we can't, yeah. 1 person.
But then against Rakdos Midrange, 64%.
Nice.
Azorius Control, 67%.
Wow.
Here's a big one.
Okay.
Against Lotus Field Combo, 75% win rate.
Yeah, Lotus Field Combo, I think, was the 3rd most played deck of the weekend when we take a look at the metagame.
Yeah.
And if it can you can deal with that.
Yeah. 60% against Amalia Combo and 83% against Boros Heroic, which we saw in the finals.
Woof.
That was Simon Nielsen was on Boros Heroic. And Seth was obviously on Rakdos Vampires, and those are some rough odds.
Well, I do love a good Boros Heroic.
That's true.
They're the Bogley boys of the format right now.
We saw them do a lot of. We saw Simon kill someone on turn 3.
Lotus Field Combo is the 4th most played deck. Taking a look at the overall metagame, Is It Phoenix was number 1, 17% of the field. Azorius Control, shocking to me, number 2. Rakdos Midrange, number 3. Lotus Field Combo, number 4. And then we get Amalia Combo, Boros Heroic, Is It in Soul, Boros Convoke, Rakdos Vampires, way down, whatever number I'm on, at only 4.3% of the players, which is the Channel Fireball team.
Yeah, well, no one else knew that it existed.
Yeah, they kept it under wraps.
They really did.
Azorius Control being number 2, I was slightly concerned. When I saw that, I was like, oh no.
Are we going to have a long weekend?
Is this going to be all control decks all the time?
No, luckily Rakdos Vampires came and just took care of it.
And they're like, nope.
They're like, get you out of the boot you out of the tournament, guys.
Yeah. What did it end up having a win rate for Azorius Control?
Ooh, Azorius Control, 47.2.
Okay.
It's pretty rough.
Yeah. Didn't really do great.
Amalia Combo did pretty well, 55.9.
All right.
Yeah.
That's respectable.
That absolutely is. I am a big fan of that deck. I like. Also, if you didn't hear, this is one of our favorite things. It is Judge Rob told us about this on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Amalia. The Amalia combo deck played against Christopher Larson, played it against Simon Nielsen in the semifinals.
Yes.
And Amalia has some very specific wording on her.
She has wording on her that I bet R&D would go back and change now if they had the ability.
Whenever you gain life, Amalia Benavides Aguirre explores, then destroy all other creatures if its power is exactly 20.
That's the problem right there.
So they... Christopher Larson and Simon Nielsen played 7 games in their semifinal.
By the way, they're from the same country. They're friends.
They're friends. It's very cute.
It's very cute.
Played 7 games because eventually Simon won 3-2, but they had 2 draws in there where Christopher Larson was going off with the combo.
So he's got Amalia, he's got Wild Growth Walker.
Exactly.
Which will be a continuous loop of exploring forever until Amalia hits 20 when she blows everything else besides herself up.
Exactly. But you can either Defiant Strike Amalia to give her, to win that trigger... It goes on the stack to put her above 20.
Yep.
So it does not resolve. Or you can give Wild Growth Walker Indestructible, in which case it does not die when the Amalia trigger happens.
So then it just keeps going.
It just keeps exploring.
So she's exploring for the rest of human time.
Exactly. And so they're just like, well, the game is now a draw.
It's just a draw.
So that was, I love that. What a fun
great.
thing.
It's very funny.
A 7-game semifinal because there were 2 draws that happened in it.
Well, it's also very funny that Simon could get out of it, specifically because he's playing the kind of deck that targets creatures like that. And
has spells that can disrupt the combo.
That can target your opponent's creatures. And so he's like, well, I could lose the game or I could draw.
Or we could draw this
Force
game.
Force a draw. And I said when I threw to this match at the news desk, I was like, we could be here literally until the end of time if they keep drawing. It could just go on forever.
It's true. But luckily it didn't.
Yeah,
only 7 games.
But that's just a cool little magic thing that, when you see stuff like that come up, it's very interesting.
What a good time. What a cool thing.
I don't know what happens if you do it on Arena or Magic Online.
I have no idea either. Watch out.
I don't know. It might break the game. So that was a fun thing that happened on our top 8 as well.
Absolutely.
Over the weekend, what deck was your favorite? What would you have played?
Ooh, I think I probably would have played Amalia combo or Quintorius combo.
Yeah, well, if you would have played Quintorius, you might have done really well.
I love me a combo deck.
Yeah.
And I love Quint. I love Quint. I love a combo deck. I would have been on a combo deck.
Yeah.
Maria, you would have been on Rakdos Vampires.
Absolutely. You couldn't have stopped me fast enough. I'm cheating something out and Sword on 3. Yeah, I'm playing that deck.
Yes, Maria's like, I can do that?
Yeah,
okay.
it's happening.
Thank you.
Our top 8 featured Sam Pardee. Really happy to see him in another top 8. What a great
Sam
guy.
Pardee, what a great... Yeah.
Mom and Pop flew in to see him in the top 8.
So cute.
Very cute. He was running Rakdos Vampires as part of Team CFB. Ming Yang Chen from China was playing Lotus Field Combo. Jean-Emmanuel Duprat, reigning world champ on Is It Phoenix, which, by the way, another fun fact. This tournament was full of fun facts. Yeah. Jean-Emmanuel Duprat winning the world championship and then top 8ing the next Pro Tour has happened 3 times in a row. Nathan Stoyer did it the year before him. Yuta Takahashi did it the year before him.
Jeez.
But Jean-Emmanuel Duprat, if he would have won, would have been the first person to ever go world championship into Pro Tour win.
Wow. He's just good at Magic.
I mean, just impressive enough on its face. Then Seth Manfield, Rakdos Vamps on Team CFB. Alex Friedrichsen on Lotus Field Combo. Christopher Larson on Amalia Combo. Adam Adelson on Is It Phoenix. And Simon Nielsen on Boros Heroic. So yeah, we had a good mixture of well-known names and also people who it was their first pro tour, or maybe there was their second pro tour and they tested on Arena. Like Adam Adelson, he just played on Arena. He won a qualifier weekend on Arena and got to the pro tour, and here he is in the top 8. So a good representation of decks, but in the end, the finals came down to Seth Manfield versus Simon Nielsen, Rakdos Vamps versus Boros Heroic, and it was a really good match. Everybody, if you want to go and watch it, I do recommend it. Seth came out on top. Spoilers, but yeah.
It was a good time.
It was a great time. I'm happy that a team brought a deck and broke the format, and that Pioneer seems like a fun place to go and play right now.
Yeah. Maria, off the topic of Magic, what was your favorite part of Chicago?
Oh, well, my favorite part of Chicago would have to be the fancy restaurant we went to.
It was incredible.
That was really fun.
Wild.
I've never done a fancy restaurant before.
Me neither.
This is 3-star Michelin star restaurant. I've never had that experience, and we were just like, we're gonna do it. And my gosh, it
was incredible. The food was unbelievable.
It was like Cirque du Soleil for your mouth.
The experience was also amazing.
Yeah, it was a great experience. Highly recommend.
It was unreal.
My favorite course was called a hot potato cold potato, where there was a cold potato soup and then a hot potato with like Parmesan and truffle on it, and it was on a skewer, and you pulled that out and it dumped it into the cold soup, and then you took it like a shot. Yeah. But they wouldn't tell you what it was until after you ate it.
Yeah, it was really
Spooky.
Good. It's so hard to say what was my favorite course because it was all incredible. There was like I loved the raviolo that came before that.
Yeah,
there
truffle.
was it was like a single little ravioli, a raviolo with
I didn't know the singular form of that
with like a little
until this
like truffle broth inside of it, and then like a little
like
Parmesan
a soup dumpling
and truffle on top, and then you just ate it in one bite, and it
exploded in your mouth.
Oh my god, it was incredible.
And what about this? For dessert, there was a balloon.
This is what I try and tell everyone about because like. It's just unreal.
There was a balloon. Of this? It was made of sugar of some description.
Like taffy. It was like apple flavored taffy.
Just very, very thin because it was see-through.
Yes, transparent.
And it was filled with helium, so it floated like a balloon. And it had like a taffy string that you held. And then they were like, now kiss the balloon and suck it in so that you can have helium voice.
Yes. Like literally part of the dessert experience was having balloon helium voice.
So I did, and I sucked in the helium, and I sounded like this.
It was very funny.
It was
amazing. It was great.
Wow. Name drop our restaurant. Do you remember the name of it off the top of your head?
It's Alinea.
Alinea. So if you're ever in the area,
it's the 3-star Michelin restaurant in Chicago.
We recommend.
It
was worth it. It's like it's like basically going to see a Broadway show or a Cirque du Soleil or something like that.
It is incredible.
Great time. So that was my favorite part. What about you?
That was probably also my favorite part. I mean, it was incredible. I also just love Chicago.
Yeah. Seeing everybody again. We haven't seen any of our Pro Tour friends who worked the show with us since last October.
Yeah. If you're going to a MagicCon coming up, you should absolutely do Brian David Marshall's Cocktails and Commander event.
Oh, absolutely.
Which was sold out this past time. So like if you end up going to Vegas or if you're in Europe and you're going to Amsterdam, sign up for it.
Sign up.
It seems like a great time. He like made a cocktail for it.
Yeah, a very fancy cocktail as he does. And you build, I think
it's sealed boxing league.
Yeah, it's boxing league. So you build a commander deck from a box.
Commander boxing league, yeah.
Which is, I've done it before. It's very, very fun.
So highly recommend that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's something that I wish I wish we had time.
The next Pro Tour coming up is not a MagicCon. It's just a standalone tournament by itself in Seattle in April. So people can't come to that because it'll be like a closed set environment. But Amsterdam will be after that this summer, later in June. And if you're going over there, we'll be there. And I'm very excited because I've never been to Amsterdam.
Oh, so it's one of my favorite places.
I'm going to ride a bike.
I love canals.
I'm going to look at a windmill.
Yeah. Do you know what? It sounds like a stereotype, but those are both things that you can easily accomplish.
All right. So. That sounds like my speed. So check it out, everybody. If you missed any of the coverage, twitch.tv/magic will have the VODs. It was a great show. I had a horrible cold all weekend.
Yeah.
And I was like, surely everybody knows that I sound like I'm talking like this. But then I randomly watched a clip that somebody had posted, and I was like, oh my God. I don't know if you can tell. It's crazy. Anyway, great time, great show, great oldies. Chicago. Pizza Arms.
All right, Maria.
Yes.
In honor of Chicago.
Yeah.
What I vote that we do at this collector booster is we open
Eat it. Oh.
Eat your pizza arm. And what you're going to do is you're going to, we'll pitch a pizza, like what the pizza toppings are.
Oh, for this card?
That card.
Okay,
yes.
great
what are
idea.
this card's pizza toppings?
Great idea. What are your pizza toppings as a human being?
Okay, meatballs, ricotta, and spicy pickled vegetables.
Of any variety.
Yeah.
I just want pepperoni and feta and onion. That's been my go-to for a while.
Oh, look at this beautiful like art card on one side and clue on
foil.
the other. Yeah.
It's foil.
All right. Let's do this.
Okay, I'm going to pitch a pizza topping. And it's inspired by Alinea, where you have to eat the pizza, but you can't be told what's on it. And this is the best part. What's on it is, it's really good. And you have, in the past, they've like searched your Google history. They've mined your conversations with your friends. They look at your text. You have to sign over a lot of stuff to this company. Because what you've eaten is something that you've previously said, I would never like that on pizza. Okay? And what they have done is constructed a pizza that's like what you said you wouldn't like, but done it in a way that will make you like it.
Wow.
This pizza is called Call a Surprise Witness. And then you'll like it.
That's great.
You're like, never pineapple. But then, wow, they get you to like it. What's on your pizza?
Okay, this pizza is this. You're gonna know that this. You're gonna know that this card has disguise because you serve this pizza upside down. You serve the pizza upside down, and you
love that.
And the way it works is that you have to eat the pizza upside down, but if you want to turn it right side up, it goes to someone else at the table. Like it becomes someone else at the table's pizza. It's covert ambusher pizza.
That's great.
That's a pizza experience. You have to eat it upside down. It's like, again, a mystery pizza that you eat upside down. But if you decide that you want to look at it, you have to give it to somebody else instead.
I don't think I would like eating a pizza upside down.
I don't think so either.
It needs to go crust first.
I know. I agree.
That my tongue
be
would
really messy. Also,
just not love that. My next pizza is made by your friends in the kitchen before you get there. And they can use any ingredient in the kitchen whatsoever for the pizza. If you can correctly guess the 3 ingredients on the pizza toppings, you get $100. If you don't, you have to pay all of your friends each $100.
Wow, this pizza sounds like an expensive endeavor.
I don't know why this is the deal you agreed to. That was your decision, not mine. But the point is, they're going to make you a pizza. They're going to put whatever on it, and then you have to say what the 3 ingredients are. If you do, you win $100 in the pizza called Dramatic Accusation. Did you put pepper on this? Did you just dump olive oil on this? Did you put old milk on this pizza?
Okay, this is a pizza that the top, like, it's like a barbecue chicken pizza, but with like a little bit of like Cajun seasoning. And then after you eat it, they're like, that wasn't chicken, that was crocodile. That was alligator in Undercover Crocodile.
Surprise crocodile.
Surprise crocodile.
This is my pizza, in which it's more like a calzone. It's got the crust topping. It's encased. But there's like eye holes and nose holes and a mouth hole.
What?
And that's where like you put the 2 little tomatoes, like cherry tomatoes in for the eyes, and the mouth you can see like is a green pepper mouth or whatever. It's just basically, it's a presentation.
Yeah.
It's kind of cute. It's called Goblin Mask Maker.
Great.
Enjoy this pizza.
Okay, this pizza is like it's like spicy pepper pizza.
Ooh.
But the way it works is like it's kind of like Hot Ones, you know, where there's like a going upscale, and so like each slice
is spicier
than the last slice.
That's a great idea.
And you don't know where it starts though, so you're just kind of like you're trying to figure it out in Hot Shot Investigator pizza.
I love that idea. I love that idea. Some pizzas should do it 100%. This pizza is gold. There's gold flakes on it, like you know, what's that alcohol with gold flakes in it? You know what I'm talking about.
Goldschlager?
Goldschlager. It's a Goldschlager of pizza.
Oh, God. That is not a recommendation in its favor.
Do you think you can have cinnamon pizza?
like a dessert pizza.
What if it's not dessert?
You could have a savory cinnamon pizza.
You absolutely could. It would be like chili, because I love putting cinnamon in chili.
Yeah.
What if you had like a cinnamon chili style pizza?
Yeah.
I think that would be good.
I'm into it.
With like beef and then other chili things,
Yeah.
but it's got gold on the top, gold leaf, because this pizza has been made for Tesa, opulent oligarch. She needs gold on her pizza.
Very nice.
That actually sounds good.
Yeah.
Chili pizza?
Chili pizza does sound good. Let's see. This when they deliver you this pizza, they also give you a hat to wear.
Oh, that's nice.
A hat to wear while you eat it because it's agency outfitter pizza. Goes like its thinking cap.
This pizza, the ingredients, the toppings are under the cheese, so you can't see them, but they're there. I feel like some pizzas do this. Anyway, It's called hide and plate side pizza.
Okay, this pizza, this pizza is kind of like a pizza buffet where you order the pizza, and they just keep bringing you slices that are unknown slices.
Oh.
But even if you finish it, they'll always bring you one more. They're never going to let you finish the whole pizza because it's final word phantom pizza.
It's an unending feast.
Exactly.
This pizza is for anybody who thinks they're so smart, because you have to do math problems with this pizza. You'll have like a certain number of kinds of toppings, and then it'll be like, what's this number of toppings on that slice you ate times this number of toppings minus the square root of this number of toppings on that pizza. And if you do it right, the next one's free. Kellen Inquisitive Prodigy pizza.
Okay, this pizza is like, okay, there's the space where they're making pizzas, right? And they're like, we'll say it's very clean for the purposes of what I'm about to say.
Okay.
Because what they're going to do is like, after they've made other pizzas and there's like the stuff that got scattered around, they just take all that and put it on this pizza.
That's what people used to, remember the rumor about Chuck E. Cheese?
Yes.
That's what they said.
Kind of like that, but they're taking the toppings, right, that like got sprinkled around the edges and didn't make it on in sanitation automaton pizza.
No, thank you. This next pizza is a honey pizza. So we're going to have, what are we going to have on this honey pizza? It's going to be like wild flowers. That tastes good, edible flowers.
Uh-huh.
There's going to be some honey, probably like some pineapple, I think goes with that. And like some pepperonis. It's kind of like Hawaiian style, but honey is very important in Analyze the Pollen pizza.
I love like a spicy honey on a pizza.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, in this pizza, what you do is you just order this pizza, and they go and they ask 5 other people in the restaurant what they really like about the pizza they're currently having.
Okay.
And then they put those 5 things on your pizza in case file auditor pizza. We didn't make pizza toppings so much as we made pizza experiences for people to have.
We thought of a couple winners, I think.
Yeah,
cinnamon chili pizza with gold flakes and the hot one style mystery pizza.
Oh yeah, that hot one style pizza is going to be that's a thing.
I mean, like, you truly have to hide it. Like, you can't. I don't know if you can look at a hot one and know that it's the hottest one.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that's very fun. Anybody who owns a pizza place, just call us if you use any of these.
Just call us if you want to use any of these.
You can put Good Luck I-5 approved on the box, and you'll sell at least one more.
Yeah, there's your guarantee. You'll sell one pizza.
Well, everybody, that's this episode of Good Luck High Five. Thank you so much for listening, hanging out, reliving the Pro Tour experience with us. It was a blast.
It was a great time.
Next week, we'll go over all the cool new fun stuff coming out this year, which it looks hype. Let's get real.
Great.
It looks really good.
Yeah, it does.
Thank you to everybody who has our back over on patreon.com/GLHF Magic. Become a patron before next week or increase your pledge for a shout out and to give me a birthday present. I would love to see your name come up on our email as a new patron.
Think about it.
It makes our day every time. Thank you to Card Kingdom for sponsoring us as they always do. And thank you to all of our producers who will stick around for a longer episode. Like we said, go on over to youtube.com/@CommanderArcade to watch our Commander episode in the background to help us get those watched hours up. And just watch it if you haven't.
If you haven't seen it yet.
I mean,
it's a great time.
I watched it at least 4 times and I'm still entertained every single time.
It's great.
So think about that. Yeah. Go to your work. If you work in an office, go to everybody's computer, have it start running in the background, then minimize it.
And then minimize it and just don't tell them what happened.
Don't tell them what happened. This episode of the show is called Marie and Megan Get You Fired. Oopsies. Anyway, thank you all so much for listening. We'll see you next week.
Megan and Maria Get You Fired.
Sorry. Uh-oh.